and welcome here to Talk FCB, and welcome to what is going to be a massive week for this club. We've got two very important games to come, and that is why, guys, last night's win over Valencia, it wasn't perfect, and of course we don't want to start getting too ahead of ourselves. That's the last thing that we want to do. But what we do have to say is that it was important to get it done, to start building some momentum, and ahead of those games now, we're going to be looking at what we can do better, but also the positives that we saw from the likes of Dest. We're going to be talking about Aguero, about Ansu Fati, and also the goal from Philippe Coutinho. It is all coming up. Let's get to it. Because if we start, first of all, with the media reaction there following Barca's win over Valencia at the Camp Nou. MD, as you can see there, going with the headline, "Take off." This team here finally giving us something to smile about. And it's interesting there to see the cover from Sport. Remontada. We all know the meaning of that by now. Comeback, a word that we know well, for both good and bad reasons. But I think Barca yesterday certainly showed some improvement. There were plenty of things as well that we do need to work on, as we're also going to come on to discuss. But I think one of the things that I want to say, and I really want to hammer home here, the big positive for me, was the kind of change that we saw in our attacking play and the kind of threat that we posed. You think about yesterday's game, then you think about the game against Atletico. You think about the game there against Benfica, against Cadiz. We showed nothing. We were toothless in attack. We never really looked like threatening any of those teams. But I think yesterday there was a real feeling that, you know what? We can go and score a few goals. We can put pressure on Valencia. We do have players there that now can be making a difference. And I think having the ability to start Ansu Fati was a really big positive. I think you've got Memphis in there, you've got Alba down the left, Dest, of course, from the right we're going to talk about. Then you can bring Aguero, Coutinho off the bench as well, chipping in with a goal. And I think there was a definite change there. There was a definite shift, I feel, in our attacking play. And I think that's big. I think that's a really big positive for us. Because like I say, you think back before the international break there, after that Atletico Madrid game, Gerard Piqué came out after it. He said, you know what? If we'd have played for 3 more hours, we still wouldn't have scored. And honestly, he was telling the truth. Like I say, we didn't look threatening. But now, with the players that we have coming back, of course, we've got Dembele as well in a few games' time as well, who will be added to that mix. And things are just starting to look there a little bit better in terms of our attacking play. And honestly, we will need that. Because for me, our defence and the way we set ourselves up as a team, the way that we organise ourselves, or the lack of organisation, that is still an area of concern. I look at yesterday's game, the amount of chances that we still conceded. I think you've got to look at the amount of saves that Ter Stegen had to make, and big ones too. Valencia had their chances, and against better teams, you are going to be looking at conceding goals, and that is why we've got to pose a threat. We have to be able to score not 1, but 2, 3, even 4 goals in games, because right now, we can't rely on defence. And when you can't keep clean sheets, we simply have to score goals. And I think certainly looking to Sunday's match and the way we played, the way we attacked, one player who was at the very heart of that, one player who was the driving force behind that kind of penetration, it was Sergino Dest. He was absolutely brilliant there, playing in that right-wing role. And that was a really interesting choice there by Ronald Koeman. It was a risk. He did take a gamble there in trying something new. I said in the review, I'm very happy that he did try something different. And I would also look at the way that he was very good away on international duty for the United States. And especially the goal that he scored there, cutting in off the right-hand side, shooting with his left foot. It was a wonderful finish. He also got an assist in that game too, for America. And I just wonder there, did Ronald Koeman sit down, see that game, maybe see some of the highlights, and maybe did he think, actually, Dest can be a threat. He can not only be a very good attacking fullback, but why not play him as an out-and-out winger? Because when you look at the attributes that Sergino Dest has, you've got to say, it makes sense. We were all looking at that even before the game started, thinking, you know what? That might actually work, because he's got an abundance of pace. He can stay very wide there in the attacking areas. 2 major things that we've lacked right throughout this season so far, and especially in a difficult game like yesterday, when you've got Gaia, who's going to be going forward for Valencia, somebody there who could pose a real threat going forward for them. Dest also understands his defensive responsibilities. He was actually helping, and I would actually say doing more defensive work than Sergio Roberto was, and he was supposed to be the right back. He really did dominate take that right side. And I would also look at back in the days of Pep Guardiola. I actually remember there in a Clasico, Pep deploying Dani Alves in a very similar role. Nice and high up the pitch there, keeping his width, stretching the pitch, using that pace in behind on the counter-attack as well. And it is going to be really interesting, I feel, looking at the games that we have to come, especially midweek against Dynamo Kyiv. Is Dest going to stay there? Are we going to see Dest continue in this wide role? And is that something that you'd like to see? And I would really like to know, guys, what you think in the comments down below. Should Dest stay as a winger, at least for now? Let me know. Then, of course, a player that I really do want to discuss in a little bit of detail is Philippe Coutinho, who came off the bench, of course, yesterday for the final half an hour against Valencia and got himself, crucially, the really important goal to basically put the game beyond doubt there. 3-1 it was, and that was Coutinho's first goal in nearly a year. His last one coming in November of 2020, of course, before just a month later from that goal, he suffered his season-ending injury. And I do have to say, I was really happy for him. I was really happy there to see the kind of emotion that Coutinho showed after scoring that goal. Clearly, it meant a lot to him. Clearly, there was a big release there. It was almost like a bit of relief that he could finally get on the score sheet again. And after the game, he said, "We all know that I've suffered, but he said, I do feel good right now. After so long, to score a goal is a very, very nice feeling." He said the team has won too, which is great. He said, "I've got more desire than ever before after going through everything that I have." He said, "It's just a scar that makes me stronger. I want to succeed and be the best Philippe Coutinho that I can be." And look, right throughout Coutinho's Barça career, I think we'll all hold our hands up and say it hasn't really happened for him. We still don't know whether that is going to change at all in the immediate future. But what I would say is that whilst he's here at the club, while he's still a Barça player, we just will use him in moments like this where he can come off the bench. He came on yesterday. He did look bright. He got on the ball. You know that he's somebody who's always going to have a shot at goal. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think at times we should be taking on more shots from outside the box, more attempts on goal to try and make something happen. And Coutinho, off the bench in that kind of role, starting a few games here and there, he can certainly be an addition in this team. I hope this goal helps his confidence, because like I say right now, we need to pose a threat at any player who can help there with scoring goals, creating goals. We need all the help we can get. And speaking of that fact too, let's talk about Sergio Aguero, who came on yesterday to make his Barça debut at the Camp Nou, his first ever competitive appearance there in a Barça shirt, and that was actually his first competitive club game since the Champions League final way back in May. And I've got to say that I was really excited actually to see Aguero there in a Barça shirt, somebody of course who's a legend of the game, somebody that we all have admired right throughout his career over the years, and I think especially having to wait so long to make it happen, it was great to see him there getting that moment, and I think the reception that he received, it was amazing. From the Camp Nou there, they really did give him an incredible ovation, one of the loudest cheers of the night, and every time he got the ball, there did seem to be an expectation in the air. He really did get the crowd going. They actually had their own chant for him, something that after the game, Aguero said that he really did like. He spoke to Barça TV after the game. He said, "I'm really happy here to make my debut. I've been looking forward to this moment for a long time." And he said it was good because we won. That's the most important thing, that the team did come out on top. He said it was amazing to hear the fans chanting my name. I think he was actually surprised at the immediate response that he got from the fans. He said, "I really like the song that they were singing, and I think now it's my turn to repay them on the pitch and thank them for the affection that he's shown me." And it's again the same case, whereby a player is coming back in the team, somebody who can score goals. If you give Aguero chances, if you put them on a plate for him, he is somebody who's going to finish them off. He will put chances away. He's a prolific goal scorer. He still can be. And there's no question that when he is fit and available, he can again help us pose that threat. But of course, guys, when you are talking about players who can make the difference, when you're talking about players there who can really threaten our opponents and cause problem at every single opportunity, there's only one man that we want to be discussing right now. It is Ansu Fati, who once again in yesterday's game, he just set the place alight. He absolutely brings that stadium, he brings all of us fans to life when he goes out there on the field. And I think with every single game, even though we have high hopes for him, even though, we believe that he's going to go on and achieve amazing things in the game, he still continues to surprise us. Because you look at the game, he came back against Levante, came off the bench. We didn't expect him to score immediately on his return. What did he do? Absolute thunderbolt from outside the box. And yesterday, his first start in such a long time. And what a goal that is. What an absolute beauty. Again from outside the box. He scored 2 goals since his return, both of them coming from outside of the area. And it's just outstanding. And I think the level of composure that we see from Ansu in front of goal, it is not normal. For somebody there of his age, 18 years old, let's not forget, it just doesn't happen. Players that young, players with, a lack of experience in front of goal, they should panic. They should be thinking, okay, I'm in this position, what am I going to do? But he just looks so calm. He looks as though he's already seen the picture. He already knows where he's going to put the ball. And you look at that finish yesterday. That is smack bang in the corner. Cillessen was nowhere near that. 2 goalkeepers wouldn't have got to that effort. And I think we're all absolutely in awe right now of what Ansu Fati is giving this team. Ronald Koeman actually admitted after the game, he said, I didn't want to substitute him. He said, I didn't really want to take him off, but he said, we have to manage his return. We don't want to take any risks at all with his recovery. And I think that's really, really important. Yes, of course, we would have liked to have seen Ansu stay on for more of the game yesterday. It was a bit of a risk to take him off in case Valencia came back into the game, but we've got to think of the long term. We want this man to be available for the entirety of the season, and of course beyond. We want him scoring goals in this team, and I think looking ahead now to Dynamo Kyiv, then the Clasico. These are massive, massive games to come. Ansu is going to be at the heart of our attack. He's going to need support. He's going to need help. But we have players in this team now who have to rise to the occasion, who have to continue posing that threat, because this Barça team, with the way that it is right now, we've got to continue scoring goals. So that there, guys, is all of the reaction following a very, very important win for Barça against Valencia on Sunday evening. Please do let me know all of your reactions from that game there. What did you make of the performance of Sergino Dest? What do you think of the goal from Coutinho, Aguero's return, and of course the composure and the brilliance from Ansu Fati? Tomorrow, I'll be bringing you all of the build-up to that massive, I cannot stress enough how big this coming Champions League game is. I'll see you tomorrow for all of that. And I really do hope, guys, you'll be there with me to experience it all. I will see you then. And I thank you for your support. But until next time, as always, Visca El Barça.